Wyoming is a land where people still get around on horseback. A land of breathtaking landscapes crossed by the Rocky Mountains that peak at over 4,000 meters. It is the least populated of the United States. Here, not far from Yellowstone National Park, Richard Fox has his ranch.
It's the end of May, and normally at this time of year, the grass is growing and all of the trees have leaves. But this year, as you can see, it's still snowing at this time of year. So we're facing some challenges feeding our horses and our cattle, and we live by nature's rules here.
After a long, hard winter, the spring thaw has begun. The ranch is coming back to life. Today, Richard's entire family is pitching in with the work. They have to drive a part of the herd up to the grazing lands recently freed from the snow. These vast expanses they ride over, these plains, hills, and mountains, all this is their home, and they protect it. Richard Fox runs his family ranch, perched at an altitude of 2,300 meters and isolated from the rest of the world. In this region, the temperature can sometimes drop to minus 30 or 40 degrees Celsius. Wyoming is a wild country, land of wolves, grizzlies, beavers, and the imposing elk.
That's a good boy. From the day I was born, I've been around horses. I started riding in my father's arms when I was 6 weeks old. So really, they're like family members to me. And my whole family feels the same way. We treat them very gently and have a lot of respect for horses. You can go any direction on the horses, and we're very lucky because we're in the middle of the wilderness, so we don't have any highways, we don't have fences, that block us off, so we can go any direction, both physically and I think mentally, because we have these wide open spaces.
When the sun sets, the mountains around the Bitterroot Ranch echo with a particular sound that goes way back to Richard's childhood. Once spring is well underway, they let the horses loose at sunset so they can spend the nights roaming freely in the mountains.
I like to come up just by myself to get away from it all and see what's going on up here. It's very peaceful, it's very nice companionship with the horses. You always have to pay attention to what the horse is doing, and so they keep you thinking. You can't fall asleep, and I can't drift off and think about other things. I have to focus on the horse and on our relationship. It's a little bit like a dance, and you have to pay attention to it, or you'll step on your partner's toes, or they'll step on yours. I came up here this morning to see if we can bring our cattle up into the mountains. Each summer we bring them up, high into the mountains for the grass. And I've discovered that there's a lot of snow up here. So it's too early. We aren't going to be able to bring our cattle up yet. But frankly, it's also kind of a nice trip to see, just me with the 2 horses. And we get away from it all. And we can explore in the mountains. It's very peaceful. I haven't found anywhere yet that's better than this.
Richard makes a stop on the banks of this river. He still has half a day of riding to get back to the ranch. He'll spend the night in his 100-year-old cabin that has offered shelter to so many cowboys before him. Isolated, but not alone. He has the company of his horses, as well as the spirit of all those who once nourished the same dreams.
For my whole family, it's very important that we're keeping our ranch the way that it has been. It's a hard way to make a living, and it would be easy to, sell the ranch and subdivide it. But there are a lot of ranchers that hold on to the land. Even though it's a tough lifestyle, it's a good lifestyle, and they have a lot of love for what they're doing and for the open land and for the environment. I hope people get a chance to visit wilderness somewhere in the world just to see what it's like. And I think that, that's how everyone used to live. So it's kind of part of us, and it's important to, still see it.
In the local Indian language, Utah means people of the mountains. This is the breathtaking realm of towering stone cathedrals sculpted by the wind and rain. Time and erosion have carved out immense canyons. Venturing into the heart of Utah means discovering one of nature's masterpieces. Here, at the foot of these abrupt rock walls, is where the lovers of wide open spaces meet. Men and women who live near these cliffs that they've managed to tame in order to satisfy their thirst for the extreme.
It's like a specific moment where you have to focus and do everything the best you can. And, the only person it really matters to is you, because you're the one there, you're the one on the line. It feels really honest or like real to have experiences like that, because you're gonna try to do the best you can because you sort of have to. Well, I've been climbing for 20 years, and at this point I couldn't really not climb in my life. It's just, it's like eating or walking. I will always climb. I don't know. I don't know why I like that so much. I just do. I just really like it.
Steph Davis is one of the world's most respected woman climbers. She has climbed and opened difficult trails all over the globe: Pakistan, Europe, North and South America. Steph Davis could have had a brilliant career as a pianist or devoted herself to writing and literature. But one day she discovered rock climbing, the contact with the stone, and this wild nature that few men or women manage to master. When she arrived here in Moab, Utah, Steph Davis decided to live as simply as possible, in her trailer, not far from the rock walls. And she lived like that for 7 years.
You know, as the years went by, I went like a lot of places in the world, and this is just my favorite place. Like if I had to stay in Moab and never ever leave this area for the rest of my life, I would be totally happy because there's just everything to do here.
Now Steph lives with her boyfriend, Mario, who's also a lover of the extreme and strong sensations. Today they're climbing ancient art, a spire in the middle of Fisher Towers, one of Utah's most spectacular landscapes.
Position and everything. Make sure it's all good.
Yeah, I'm not clipped right now.
These two climbers, used to high mountains, complete the ascension in under an hour. Here, Steph and Mario are on the summit of ancient art, perched on a narrow platform barely large enough to stand on.
Have a good one, babe.
Me too.
See ya.
2, 1.
Steph's free fall down the cliff face has gone off without a hitch. This sport, base jumping, gives an incredible rush of adrenaline. But for Mario, it's more of a problem because the wind has come up. Plus, he's no longer attached by his harness, and his balance is tricky. Under these conditions, you have to be patient. Now the wind has dropped, and Mario is getting ready to take the great leap. But first, he has to get rid of the rope they use to make the climb. The rope has gotten wedged in, and he has to free it with his foot.
Yeah, baby. Here we go. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. That's okay.
Good job. That was a nice one.
It's one of those magical places, and it's close to our hometown. It's like 20 miles away, 25 miles away. We can come here like every day if we want to, so we don't have to travel across the world. So, and people cross the world to come here. So when you're actually here and it's your backyard, I feel very, very lucky. You know, I'm more of a jumper, she's more of a climber. So she gets me up and, I get her down. So we have this little team thing going, which is pretty nice. So when you actually have somebody that shares the same passion and you're actually in love with, it makes everything just that much more intense because you can share all these very strong, feelings and moments with somebody you love. It's nice, very nice.
Mario is a climber, but he's also been an airplane pilot and skydiving instructor for years. He's one of the trailblazers of base jumping as well. The passion they both have for wide open spaces and pushing their limits quite naturally led Steph and Mario to share the call of the void.
Mario and I actually met in this plane. And I really like it when he's flying. And then he knows so much, and I really trust his decisions. And it's just nice when he's flying.
If you're in a thunderstorm, it's bad weather, so what you need to do is make sure where they are before you actually take off and basically avoid them. But it does make things a little more tricky, but at the same time, these days we'll have the most beautiful skies because the clouds are bursting, and there's a way to be safe as long as you respect the environment and you know what's coming.
Their little plane is weaving between the storms and downpours. Mario is still hesitating about opening the hatch. Steph is ready to go.
How about is 1 minute from dropping skydivers over canyon line? 1 minute.
And door, 0.5 miles, have a good jump.
For this jump, Steph has donned her wingsuit, especially designed to slide through the air. But man's oldest dream, flying, is not available to just anyone. In the USA, you have to complete 500 jumps before you can dive with a wingsuit. This suit allows Steph to fly much longer in free fall than with the standard equipment. It's an aerial roller coaster that lasts only about 1 minute before opening her parachute.
It kind of feels like being a bird when you have a wingsuit because you can go where you want. You can steer it. You can pop up or dive down. You can, spin around in circles. It's a really cool feeling, but then at the same time, you're also thinking a lot because you have instruments like the altimeter, and you have to think about where you're going to come to land. And so it's like, on the one hand, it's this really like, ooh, I'm a bird. And then on the other hand, you're like, what's my altitude? It's just such an amazing thing that you could do that, You could be like a bird up there. It's kind of amazing that we have that chance. Hey, Larry.
Hey, Steph, how's it going?
Hi, Slack. Hi. Hi,
Steph.
sweetie. Hi. Hi.
Happy dog.
Hi. Good boy. Is it windy?
Yeah, it's been a little breezy up here, but not too bad.
Is the line good?
Oh, it's perfect.
Looks nice.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
great.
that's super nice, Larry.
Yeah, it's sweet.
Wow, but it's really wet. Is the line wet?
No, it's actually after the sun and all the wind, it's dried out and it's perfect.
Do you know how far down it is?
It's probably about 100 feet down.
Okay.
Larry Harp is an old friend of Steph and Mario. He's a reference in this very spectacular discipline, slacklining. He also has been around the world to fulfill his passion for climbing, which he's been practicing for years. Larry is willing to go to great lengths for such a moment. It took him 2 days of hard work to set up the line. You don't practice this extreme sport on a tight cable, like a tightrope walker with his balancing pole. Here, Larry has to master the stretch and bounce of the narrow strip of webbing as he walks the fine line between vertigo and perfect balance.
Nice.
Thanks.
Good job.
Whew, that was fun. I really enjoy the balance of being able to control not only your physical and your mental aspect of walking a line. I enjoy being up really high. I've been a climber for 20 years, so highlining or slacklining up high is basically just an extension of that. One thing you try to do is empty your mind of anything. It's kind of like meditation. So if you're thinking about a bunch of things while you're walking, it kind of confuses you, and it might make you stumble or fall. Whew, that was fun. It's always gets the heart rate up a little bit there. For me, highlining is all about the view, and it's not just being up high. It's being in a very scenic place, being out with nature, and just enjoying the landscape, and everything encompasses the experience that you're looking for.